Greetings, adventurers, to the ADHD&D Academy. I am your host, Stephen Oyocha Kerrigan, and with me is a band of maligned misfits at school, away from home for the very first time. Let's go around and, I don't have my intro up. I was told, are you ready? I was asked, are you ready? And I said yes. I was not. I was not ready at all. But that's fine because I was trying to get on time. we have not started a single episode on time, and it's fine now because it's just part of the charm. With me is a group of wonderful folks. Say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Good day.
We have, in no particular order, Orez, played by Jason. We have...
Good day, everyone.
Where are the names? I know your names. Playing Ketlin Stonesticker, we have Michael. Playing Elwyn, the elf. The shunt, you didn't have that. And then playing Salvador, we have Dominic. Say hi, everyone. We already did that. I am scattered. Today, we don't actually have Kevin this week because he died. And no, that's not true. But he did run into financial problems. So no, that's also not true. I was realizing, I was going to make a joke about that, but then I was like, that could just be true. That's not funny. But it's not. I have dug this hole.
Yeah,
Jesus.
This is rough.
In reality, we killed his character off screen, and so now he doesn't get to play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think we just keep digging it deeper, right? At some point, you just...
Oh, goodness gracious. Guys, we're off to a rough start, and it's my fault. I'll take responsibility. How are you guys doing? I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. How's everyone? Good?
Doing good, yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Ready to roll some dice.
I've been having a rough time, obviously. A lot has been going on this week, but that is not that's not an excuse. So, last week, what happened? How are your characters thinking, feeling? You guys completed an assignment. You were able to get all the way. I don't know if we officially put this out there, but your party ranking for your freshman year is now you're up to 63. So you were way down there, and now you're actually
nice
about to crest into the top 50. And looking at your rankings, you guys can see that the prismatic cog that you turned in jumped you by 10 ranks. And so like if you needed like a quantifier or sort of a metric of how they were doing that, you see, hey, prismatic cog got me 10 rankings. Lots of other stuff happened. We had diving into our characters' lives, actually. We had Ketlin meet Amalia, right? How did Ketlin feel about that?
She is very anxious about who this person is and what she's going to do next.
Yes.
It was not fun.
Yes, I'm interested to see where that goes for sure, because you could see the failure. I was rushing back to take notes, and you could see Ketlin's failure. You're like, well,
yep,
and nothing to do about this.
Yep, and as a player, I was totally taken off guard because you can kind of tell at first. I was like, oh, this is just another normal person, and then it went downhill real quick, and it was like, oh no, I messed this up bad.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, Elwyn had a date. Well, started a date.
Amazing.
When I was taking notes on that part, I was just like, this poor kid. Oh my gosh, how's Elwyn doing at school now? Is this way in his mind?
More than the date, I think the words that she said at the end of the darkness that she saw is weighing on his mind more than anything. The date is there, and he feels bad about it, but Yeah, the darkness. What is the darkness? What's going on?
What's going on? I don't know. She's coming from some type of fortune telling background of some kind. We'll have to ask her when we see her. And last but not least, although we had Sal had a kind of light sort of week. He wasn't trying to make any waves. Was that a conscious effort on Sal's part to, like, I'm going to take this first week, I'm going to go with the flow? What was going on with Sal there?
Yeah, he's just trying to. He knows that every room he walks into, people are surprised that he's a student at the school. So he's just trying to keep a low profile as much as possible. Just fit in as well as he can, because by default he's not really fitting in.
Yeah, sure. How many times has Sal been mistaken for a teacher?
It was mostly on his first day, but it did happen, I think, a double-digit number of times.
Okay, fantastic. Oh, goodness gracious. And then Orez coaching a team of adventurers. How is his stress on the job? What's going on with Orez? You had some queries to Spectrum, right?
Some queries of Spectrum, but coming out of the first and kind of hearing rumors going on about his group, he's feeling a bit energized and proud that the group he's got was able to be so successful on their first mission. He's felt a little awkward about turning in the cog, being that it's been kind of pushed that maybe he shouldn't have, but he's kind of a stickler for the rules, and sticking to his personal requirements for success that have been deeply instilled with him. But then he's also now doing some research based off of what he heard from Dirk and checking out the background of the school that he was not aware of, and had a strange encounter with Spectrum that he doesn't have answers for and is not sure where to go to get him at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's definitely got to be interesting. Whenever I think about role playing, I think I've only done a halfling one or two times. I don't remember, but I do remember that sort of like, how would I have to navigate the world if I was that height? But I mean, you're wielding power, so I mean it's a little bit different, but for sure. And then maybe the most important update of all, 997 ball bearings currently. That is an accurate number. Yep. We had our intern watch every single episode twice just to make sure you didn't drop one or one fell out of your pocket.
Yeah. I don't think we even used one last episode.
Yeah. And what size are these ball bearings? Because no matter what size they are, that is an inconvenient number of ball bearings to just like carry around.
Sure. I mean, it's only 2 pounds, so I think they're probably the really small ones.
Okay, maybe it's not as bad as I'm thinking. I guess if it was like 200 like paintballs, it wouldn't be.
Actually, I think I'm a little bit more concerned about the stealth check with that many balls in a sack and just rattling around.
No, they're in a special bag.
In a sack.
Soundproof bag. Got it.
It's enchanted with magic.
Great. If you tell me that it's enchanted by magic, I'm going to use it for shenanigans.
I will.
We already kind of are.
You have. Oh, yeah. I will say you do have. There are times in your life where you've had to resort to extra legal means of providing for yourself, and you did come across a little satchel that does muffle sound.
Okay, good to know.
It holds 1,000 ball bearings, and that is it. So it is tiny.
Right. And right now it is full of 997 of them.
It's 3 short. And there are, like, it doesn't provide any, it's not lead. Would you have had it lead lined? No. You wouldn't have known to do that. No. So there's no magical protection. It's just muffling sound for when you're being sneaky. Okay. You're welcome. Look, I'm benevolent. Okay, so we are here. You guys have had your first week. You're starting to get acclimated. This is the Wild West. You guys have been thrown into it. There are threads to pull. But maybe most pressing, or maybe most interesting, is that you were able to get a slot on the sign-in sheet to reserve the gazebo that's on the lake um, for whatever sort of activities or groups or whatever. It's a school resource, right? You have to put in the sign-in sheet. You're able to put in the sign-in sheet. You guys did. You have an appointment. What are you guys doing to get ready for your? You guys gonna have a study session? What are you guys thinking?
We're having a pool party.
Yeah, I thought it was like
Pool party.
swimming classes.
Yeah, me too.
You can swim in the lake. You have it reserved. So you guys have passed it before. You'll see like the lake itself, very scenic, picturesque, lake and mountains, a la certain movie of School of Magic, right? Um, it's it's got it's got this like gorgeous huge gazebo that seats 20 comfortably, like a conversation pit. So there's a bridge dock that swings out that will extend out to the shore, so you're able to walk across it. This is like during the day. You've seen people do this. The structure itself that has this huge conversation pit. There's a pool in the middle. It opens into the actual water, so you could have a very small splash around kind of pool. But then you could also put a grate on top of it and put a fire pit on top of it and have sort of just kickback or whatever. And there's also a like attached to that, but well, semi-attached, I should say. It's on the same structure, but a different building is the boat sort of house where you have canoes and paddle boats and all sorts of like things. But then also that's like a normal standard type thing, but then it very quickly veers into fantasy world because you also have like regents and experiments going on, and you see like certain areas where there's like it's open to the floor and cages are set in, and it's like do not touch, class whatever, da 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 da. So it's a used space. You guys, when you're looking at the sign-in sheet, you realize one of the reasons that you were able to get this appointment is it's one of the last appointments at night. So when you look in the sign-in sheet, you realize there are not so many appointments at night. There are a lot more during the day, but very few at night. So somebody had it and they has it. Let's go ahead and everybody give me a history check, and I will sort of that way I can gauge what your characters know about this part of the school.
I got a -1.
Okay.
I
You
got a
thought
nice-
So a pool is, or a
you
lake,
thought
it's a
gazebo
body of
was the
water.
type of zebra.
There's no animals here.
Guys, this is a lake. Y'all are dumb.
I've got
and we had a
Oris has a
19?
22.
Yep, 19 for me.
22.
Got 10.
10. Okay. Well, yeah, or as you've been at the school longer, of course you got a higher thing. Yeah, you have never personally been there, but you know that it's used, and you also know that there's sort of a badge of honor at school because the eldritch horror that lives in the lake respects only one thing, and that's the sign-in sheet. But above that, it also is like guarding against certain people, but there's no real rhyme or reason that you can tell other than certain groups and certain students sort of get permission to go onto the lake and other ones don't. So nothing like no one like disappears or gets murdered, but it's like the lake sort of just like rejects them in a way, and it's just unpleasant for them to be there, so they just tend to not because there's no sort of rhyme or reason, but it's a sort of badge of honor to have, oh, you're one of the groups that can reserve the gazebo because the Eldritch Horror has approved your presence on their lake.
That sounds worrying.
Well, like nobody's died. Like there's no like maybe there's like a story or two of like, oh yeah, back in whatever, like some student disappeared out there. But there's no way to verify. Those are urban legends. There's no. You're fine.
It's a
You're
lake
fine.
it's a lake run by a school. How bad could it be?
How bad could it possibly be? Exactly. Thank you.
All right.
So yeah,
So should we go?
you guys have a chance to head out there. You can use. So that was my question of what is the intent? Are you guys using it for like a study session? Or are you just gonna swim, investigate? What are you guys thinking? Oh, sorry. The other thing, there is there's no enchant. Well, I'll let you guys investigate however you want to investigate. But one of the hugest draws of the lake is that sound does not penetrate outside of the lake. Like you can see the gazebo, and when people are doing water stuff, you can kind of see and hear it. But if you're having a conversation in the actual structure, nobody up from the shore can hear you. And that's been tested a lot. Like students are trying to figure that out.
So, like a magical protective barrier for sound outside?
The exact nature of it is unclear because again, there's almost no rhyme or reason to it that anyone's been able to discover anyway of why is some sound allowed through and some not? Why can you see during the day but not at night? Well, aside from the sun not being out. Like, you know what I mean? So there's sort of just this accepted mystery about the gazebo and the Eldritch horror, but life goes on. Is it worth investigating? No one's been able to figure it out yet. So,
What do you guys think? Do we go and just enjoy the water, or?
Yeah, I mean, I got s'mores supplies because we were going at night, so I assumed we were gonna have a little cookout
Oh.
at the gazebo.
Sounds good.
Are fires at the
I think-
gazebo with protocol?
I think Catelyn also wants to like practice swimming a little bit with all of her gear to be like, can I swim with all of this stuff that I'm carrying around?
okay, sort of like yeah, you want to know in case you're in a
In case I
situation.
get tossed in the water at some point. We did just go to a wet forest.
So Catelyn had the realization of I need to be ready for multiple environments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. As you guys, so a couple days go by, you guys are going to classes, you have your break of the 10-day, the last sort of. So the way people have sort of gravitated this, as I mentioned a little bit previously, but there's sort of the work part of the 10-day, which is the 3 or 4 days at the beginning of the cycle. Then people usually will take a day or two off, and then 2 or 3 days of either they go back or they are working. Now, this is all if you're working on a project and you work straight through, but like if a regular business sort of will operate this way, is the middle of the 10-day, they will have everybody's off in the very, very middle. And then it sort of flips so that if you need to like go to a restaurant, they work on the back half while et cetera, et cetera. So you have the full cycle. It's starting a new week. Second day of that 10-day, we'll say, and you guys go through your day, everything's fine. You get to the appointed hour of your appointment, and you guys approach to the lake. The mist and darkness start taking on this quality of heaviness, and if you almost have you ever had that feeling of somebody's paying attention to you without looking at you? You know what I mean? You sort of get that feeling because this is the very first time you guys have ever been to the gazebo. So there's a little bit of that going on. You feel something's attention on you, which is to be expected because of where you're going. How do you guys approach walking across the dock? Any type of just
Can we see down into the water? Like, how dark is the water?
it's lake water, so you can't see into it at all.
Okay. Because it's muddy or because it's like weirdly magically dark?
It looks like there's no magic other than the magical presence that's sort of everywhere. There's nothing coming off the water specifically to indicate that it's anything other than lake water or river water where you just can't see through it.
I think Ketlin is like that feeling of being watched is not pleasant, and is sort of a feeling that she has been trying to avoid a lot throughout her life. So I think at least going in, there's a lot of like anxiety rising in her of like, there's something watching me, and I really hope it's not this Amelia guy. And what the hell's going on?
Amalia, darling. Thank
Amalia,
you.
sorry.
Yes, Amelia was my mother. Yeah, absolutely. Undiscernible attention on you is definitely going to be hard. So I will. So the torches on the side of the dock will alight as you guys approach, leading you into the darkness. And as you look down this dark dock, and the mist is coming from where exactly? Because it wasn't misty a second ago. You that like movie trick thing happens where it's like the perspective, zooms out, and it's kind of a moment of vertigo, but you're able to walk across the dock no problem. I will take a perception check from everybody, though, as you guys, or if you guys want to investigate something specific, do let me know. But as you guys walk across the dark, at least a perception check will be, I think, appropriate.
Oris has a 22.
22, good.
Got a 20.
I got a natural 20 for a 22.
Ooh, natural 20. Okay.
17.
17. So, the natural 20. So, for 17, Elwyn, what you're able to determine when you're looking at this darkness is that it is magical in nature, and you know that the Eldritch Horror, that entity, is the one casting the spell that's causing this magic. For 17, you also know that counterspelling the darkness will not work because it's being continually cast. So if you were to dispel the darkness, it would just immediately come back because they would just like constantly recast. So that tells you a little bit of the Eldritch Horror's capability. For my 20s, this is sort of a test, right? You get all that information, but then you can sense that it's very a curious feeling out kind of energy, and not malicious, I'm gonna attack you kind of energy. And then for natural 20, that's pretty, yeah. So for natural 20, the water itself, what you realize is that it's actually a boundary. So what you realize is that there, arcanically speaking, the surface tension of the water is acting as a barrier to the Eldritch Horror itself.
Keeping it in?
Keeping it in. Or keeping things out. No,
Okay.
It's keeping it in. No, you got it. So yes, it is there. It would not be able to leave if it wanted, as far as you could tell.
Okay.
Yeah. As you guys get halfway across the dark dock, the deep dark dock, as you dither on the deep dark dock. How many more can I do? As you guys are going through this deep dark dock, you feel the pressure tighten uncomfortably like a blood pressure cuff, getting to the point where it's noticeable, unignorable, but not hurtful in any way. As you guys get past the halfway point, you feel that pressure start to alleviate slightly, and then the gazebo itself emerges from that darkness. And the hexagonal structure that you see is built up, as I mentioned, it's an elevated conversation pit, so the bottom floor in the middle has an open space where you could have a very, like, imagine the size of an above ground swimming pool. Decent size, you could swim across it, but nothing like too crazy. There's all sorts of equipment off to the side where if you wanted to put floating lane markers, you could into the lake itself and like either swim or row or whatever. As I mentioned, the boathouse is behind the gazebo itself. It has all the stuff that's going on, some experiments, etc. And there's the platform itself. The space would seat around 25 humanoids comfortably, etc. But then also you see the equipment. There is a specially made sort of metal grate that you can put over the top of the pool, and it kind of clips onto the side, and you could create a fire pit in one section of that circle. Yep. And there you guys have it. You're in. You're at the gazebo.
Nice. I think Sal. I'm ready to just start cooking stuff up. So I'm gonna go over and get started on setting up the fire pit.
Does Sal go into just like dad mode?
Yeah.
I got the crew.
He's also fully dressed up like a dad going to the beach.
Okay,
So
sure.
he's got like the bag, like the striped shirt and all that, and just like shorts that are uncomfortably short
Yeah,
to everyone else who's around him.
but also cargo somehow.
Yeah. They still have the pockets are the majority of the pant leg.
No. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Sal, you get set up. Go ahead and give me a, I don't know, sleight of hand. Very low, DC 5, just to get.
Okay.
This is stuff. It's all standard equipment.
16.
16, easy. So yeah. So you're getting set up. What's everyone else doing?
I think that knowing or like learning that about the water and that it's a barrier, Kellen's wondering if swimming is a good idea. Because once you go
would
below,
know, sorry, you would know people swim in there all the time. Like,
right?
Yeah, but
But
yes, it
still
is
a
awesome.
little bit disconcerting.
Sure.
Sure.
Just
So she's gonna walk a little away from the group over to the edge of the gazebo thingy,
mhm.
and kind of look down in the water, see if she can see anything in the water. She's definitely curious about an eldritch horror that lives in a lake. That's crazy,
Right.
and it's just normal here. So
Right.
she's a little bit like, okay, this is crazy and stupid, but I'm still gonna go swim in the water because that's why I came here.
Sure. Okay. So what are you thinking? Are you looking for like a nature or a perception or investigation?
Perception, see if I can see anything moving down there or anything before I jump in.
Okay, sure. Are you swimming in the middle or
I
on
think
the
he's
outside?
starting a fire in the middle, right?
Right, but he's doing that to one side. So like you could have like when I say like above ground swimming pool, like the grate itself would like attach to the side, so you could have like it's a partial eclipse of the swimming pool.
I see.
Yeah.
I think she's still gonna swim on the outside.
Okay. Yeah. No worries. So let's go ahead and roll that perception.
13.
13. It's dark lake water as far as you can tell. What you'll notice on a 13 is it's very clean lake water in the sense that you, like, growing up in a city, have not had necessarily the best, there's no like just open bodies of natural water except for the very wealthy places, which you would not be at.
Right. And definitely not swimming in their bodies of water.
Exactly. Clean. So it's clean, fresh lake water. You don't get like any sort of danger sense picking or anything like that.
Okay.
No tingle, right?
Right. Then I think, yeah, Ketlin's gonna like take her backpack off and then keep, her various knives on her and a bag of ball bearings on her belt and be like, all right, I'm gonna jump in the water and see if I can swim.
That satchel you have is waterproof. I will say that.
Good. I'm just assuming it's heavy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, heavy enough, right?
Yeah.
We'll resolve that. What else? Who else is doing what?
I'm just cooking up. I think I see Caitlin going in the water, and I'm just like, someone else go. Buddy system if someone's going in the water.
Okay.
Thanks,
I hear that call and I go after Gatlin.
Okay.
And like knowing that the Eldritch Horror is so powerful, I'm very wary of dipping in the water, but the sort of dad calling out that, hey, buddy system sort of pushes Elwin to go into the water
Sure.
with Catelyn. Yeah.
Are you going out there and letting her train and just and like it's all open floor plan, right? So you guys can
Yeah.
like easily see and talk to each other, but
Yeah.
but you are over there like just kind of keeping an eye out in case you need to jump in.
Yeah. Elwin does not go in, but is like right on the edge, just looking at.
What's Elwin's approach to this? I think we're about to go into the same thing. What's Elwin's approach to the water? Are you or the Eldritch Horror? Are you curious about the magic of it or what have you?
Definitely curious, but very, very, very. So he isn't like his sort of self-preservation overcomes his curiosity, and he does not poke into any of the like, oh, what is this? And this super magical being.
Let me ask it. Okay, let me ask it in a different way. Do you want to do any checks on the Eldritch Horror to see if you can figure anything out about it, or no? You're just happy to be there with friends, and that's fine too.
The latter.
You're like, hey, life's good. Why worry about it? Hey, I can respect that because that's how I live most of my days. When things are going good, I'm like, I don't want to move. Okay, fantastic, totally fine. Orez, are you able to fully relax with students that are like? There's a little bit of a social dichotomy here, but what's happening?
Certainly going to try. In previous time at the school hasn't actually been able to get any time at the lake, so this is one of the first, and he's got kind of like a ridiculous amount of stuff, almost like similar to Saul, but he's got like a parasol and extra towels, and he's kind of like pretending to try and like bring everything you could possibly need in any contingency.
Okay.
And so he's going up and just gonna try and chill out for a bit, but he shows up in his full gear, so he's got to like remove most of it and lay out a towel, and then he's a Lightfoot halfling, so he's really got to cake on the magical sun absorbing cream to protect himself, even though it's not
even at night.
Yeah, he's just that.
Okay.
Safety first.
Yeah,
that
improperly
harsh, man.
prepared. That he's trying to really get the whole experience out of it. He's just like, this is what you do at the lake.
Wait, is it? Oh, okay. So this is like he is going like, this is what people do at a lake, not I need to protect from moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Because he's
like,
never
are we
like
making that canon that you can get a
grew up
burn?
in the monastery and just like has seen people hanging out at the lake, and this is what they do.
Process driven. Got it. Okay. Cool. All right.
Just trying to fit in.
Any checks from Mr. Orez?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Okay, so you guys are able to chill there, and let's go ahead and resolve. Sal, let's do, what sort of check are we going to do to see how your meal came out? I don't have anything truly specific, but I'll accept arguments or just have you roll a d20.
Or as volunteers as the taste tester.
Maybe survival makes sense. It's not good, but I could try it.
Survival makes sense. Yeah, I'll take it.
Maybe straight up Constitution save.
Got a 10.
A 10. Okay. So yeah, you guys have before you the standard dad grill meal. There is a cooked there's a well done burger. Those crinkle fries. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about.
We just lost everyone. Quick pause here at the 34-minute mark.
Oh no. Oh no.
Hold on, let's see maybe it was just the video though. That would be cool.
No, it was video. Well, I didn't hear video and sound. Everyone went completely shut down.
Tragic.
Lord have mercy.
But yeah, Sal is explaining to Orez because they're the closest person by. The way you make a good burger is you gotta cook it on really hot grill for like a real long time, like 15 minutes on the grill. You keep pressing into the burger the whole time. You gotta get all the juices out because that's how
important to
you
get the
make
juices
it
out
so
then,
you
okay.
just taste the burger. You know, you get a good texture on it, get a good sear, then you flip it 4 times at the end, and then it's ready to serve.
That's a 10 to Sal.
So if it's on fire, is that good or bad?
That's good.
The
That's good.
burger,
The fire
okay.
adds the flavor. That's where the flavor comes from.
No. I don't know. A 10 is fine, I think. You're describing a nat 1. But hey, if that's Sal's standard, that's Sal's standard. I love it.
Mhm.
Okay. Fantastic. Ketlin, your training sort of moment here. Let's go ahead and do athletics.
Okay. +3 to athletics. So I got a 13.
13. Yeah, it goes well. You know, you're getting the hang of it. You know, it's not a coordinated training session, and you don't necessarily have enough time to like truly get into it. But it's definitely valuable. You don't drown in the lake, so that's good.
Good.
Yeah. You get a good workout in. We'll say on a 13.
Okay. At one point during the workout, I think she's gonna like pause with her head in the water, looking down, and just like open her eyes and stare for a little bit to be like, I know there's something down there. Can I?
Okay.
What's going on down there?
Is it a moment of sort of just like you're just kind of floating and
Yeah.
just okay? Let me go ahead and get I'll take nature or insight.
Okay. Let's do nature.
Okay, you want to beat a 20?
How about a 6?
Okay. um,
It's so close.
so close. For a 6, what I will say is that there is a moment of like while you are floating there, you were unable to tell when something changed, but something changed, and the water pressure is just kind of different around you, and then it vanishes and like move like the displacement of this massive body that was below you moves you, and only in its leaving do you feel that it was ever there.
Well, that's terrifying.
But as it's fleeing, go ahead and give me a perception. I'll give you one more.
That's a 21.
Okay, 21. When you get the movements of it going away are erratic in a playful way.
Okay. Okay, so it's a giant puppy.
You get a very young, like it has this like young kind of energy, and you didn't get it. It didn't get from you what it wanted.
Sure. Okay.
So
All right.
who knows what that was? But
Right.
yeah.
My soul. But okay.
A ball bearing.
No. Okay. During
One last thing. I think as she's climbing out of the water, soaking wet, in her full clothing, she's just gonna like lean down and pat the water as if it was a puppy, and then get out and dry off and join the fire.
As you're walking back to the fire, you feel somebody like do a water squirt on you. You know what I mean? Like somebody hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the ripples like of something going away.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Anybody?
Eldritch horror.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe not so Eldritch, maybe just who knows. We'll
just a run of the mill horror.
Further investigation required. Okay. So anything else? Anything else while you guys are done hanging out? Also, this will help you in future DCs of party cohesion. to spend time hanging out. So like when I'm doing notes and sort of things like that, and I'm like, where is this party strong, not strong? It's like when you guys hit a challenge for that kind of thing, I take those things into account when there's a spreadsheet. It's very boring. Okay, so anything else while you guys are hanging out? Nice fun party moment. Would Sal feed the Eldritch Horror?
If Caitlin says she wants to give a burger to the Eldritch Horror of the Lake, he will give an extra burger to it.
Sure. If somebody suggests that, maybe we should try and like let it know that we're friendly.
Okay, yeah, I don't throw it in the lake, but I put it on like a little paper plate with a little like lemonade or juice box, whatever things we brought.
Yeah, you have there's these serving boards. They're just sort of like flat pieces of waxed wood that are used as like tranchers or plates. And yeah, you can leave it out there. You guys are talking, having a good time. This is where, you'd get some inside jokes with your buds of like, hey, what's with all the, things? And, that's just an example of an inside joke that is not too general,
For those of you on the outside who don't get it, it's because it's an inside joke.
It's because it's an inside joke.
Yeah.
The joke is inside. Just start crying. At a certain point, though, when you look over, you will notice that the trancher itself is gone, and in its place are a sachet of herbs. What is it called? A sachet? It's like a satchel, but it's clear
Sachet.
and for herbs. Sachet. I think I got it right.
A little tea thingy.
Bundle.
Why not? It's a little bundle of. I'm sticking with sachet because I like it.
It's like a cheese bag.
With a little bit of herbs that you would be able to recognize from your intro to classes of like local fauna. It's very well known is that you can eat this and you would get the ability to breathe water for 1 minute.
Oh.
And there's enough for everybody to have one.
Water
So add it
breathing
to your
sachet.
inventories, please.
Do we have one for
breathing
everyone
plant.
here or one for Ragnar as well?
All the people who are here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ragnar had explosive diarrhea and couldn't make it.
I think he had one of those classes that like the first week that you sign up, they're like, you have a 30-page paper due on week 2.
Well, it's one of the because he's a monk. It's one of the monastic tracks to go on meditation retreats. So he wants to fit because he coming from such a small town, he doesn't necessarily have like a great grasp on his path that he's starting to embrace. So he wants to really align himself to smashing rocks and how that is a spiritual practice. Yep. That's what we prepared beforehand, and I didn't make up just now. All right, you guys are able to go back to your townhouse dorm, student apartment living situation. You notice that when you get back, you still have the ability to access the sign-in sheet, which means you are not rejected. So, cool. You can find where the students that can go out into the lake hang out and introduce yourself to them if you want, or they'll whatever you want to do. Okay, so school. What are you guys gonna do? You can go to classes and do personal advancement. You also have the assignment board that you can work on your party assignments on. You can drop out and start selling crystallized mana.
Well, this was a fun week and a half. Tried the school thing. I'm out.
It's not for me.
Yep.
It's not for me.
It's a very restricting environment.
Yeah. They have an Eldritch Horror living in their lake, and I don't
terrible
want to
idea
be there. No. Yeah. So I think you guys would at least see the assignment board as you're going
Oh.
about your days.
I'm gonna say,
So
so as part of the coaching department, or as would be up to date on checking out the assignments to hopefully be able to grab one as soon as one pops up that the group was well equipped for,
okay,
well set for. So
I'm
I'd be
I am
keeping my eyes on that.
I am fully down with that. I mean, that makes complete sense. That Orez would be like, okay, guys, here are the assignments available. What are we thinking? Like, keeping the party on track. I really like that. So let me send you the assignment board, and you can deliver it to the party if you want,
Okay.
or I'll do it. Whatever you like. You down? How can I send this to you? Text or what? Email? Fax it?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind faxing, you have my number.
Yep.
Text, I think, would be okay.
Well, yeah. I just as you were there, I'm not sure which. But hey, we got all the options. So we'll let Orez take a look at that.
This will take a little bit to go through.
Yeah, I realized. See, we just decided that in real time because if we had done any sort of professional preparation at all, we would have planned that ahead of time, and he'd already had the assignment list. But instead, we're just gonna have dead air, no one speak.
We're going to go ahead and switch over to the Be Right Back screen.
We're experiencing technical difficulty.
But we can move on to everyone else doing stuff and getting prepped while I review these.
Absolutely. I'll explain to the folks at home and the people as well. So your party assignments are broken up into three different sorts of categories. So you have combat assignments, you have exploration assignments, and you have fetch and carry assignments. So the remedial and lowest scoring assignments are the fetch and carry ones, which they're not all remedial, but when you get remedial work, it's going to come from one of these buckets, right? So you have to meet a certain threshold of points for the school as a party to basically qualify to graduate. So if you reach that level of points early, you can continue to train to get a jump start on next year, or you can pursue personal projects, but you filling the point. You can't graduate early. There's a time frame that you have to do it within, and then at the end, all of the people that have met it all go forward. Makes sense? Good. Exploration quests. These are open-ended kind of quests, but they involve they involve an amount of danger in that it's in an area with dangerous wildlife, or it's go kill a zombie horde. But it's in a place that has not been explored, so they can't give you very good details about it. So the point system for that a little bit higher points because there's more danger involved, but at the end of the day it's very objective focused. So if it's like retrieve something from a cave, you can sneak in, grab it, sneak out, and you've done it. There's no required combat element. And then the combat quests are you are in a fight, it's going to be hard. Those are the highest scoring points. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay.
Point system encourages violence. Good, good.
Yes. If we're running a business here, we got to make adventurers, okay?
Yeah.
And honestly, like that's an interesting dynamic for a school anyways, so don't talk to the admins. I'm sure they're all in agreement. All right.
Most of your tuition does go towards liability insurance, but
What are you going to do? All right. So, any character actions, doing any more investigations on things that you've learned or things that you've heard from other people?
Throughout, I mean, for however long it takes, Catelyn is going to keep her eye out for what's his name? Amelie? Amelia?
Okay,
Amalia. She's not going to approach him, but
sure.
definitely eye out. Try and keep track of him. Figure out who he talks to, who he's friends with. Does he talk with other people outside of his party?
So
Whatever
let
she can find out about him passively.
Okay, so that's yeah. So are you looking to run into him and then follow him, or is it the kind of thing where one day like you wake up early, stake out his place, and like wait for him to leave and follow him?
It's very much, if I happen to see him around, I'm going to pay attention to him, but I'm not
Okay.
going to pursue him.
I will. I actually haven't rolled yet, so let's do a contested perception to see who's gonna see each other first. What do you
Okay.
add to perception? I had 5.
2.
Okay. Okay.
I got 7.
I got 9.
Wow. Okay.
So just barely. Yeah. So you notice one day while you're kind of keeping an eye out and you look down one hallway, somebody is already looking at you, and it is, in fact, Amalia. But it's one of those situations where it's too far away for you to like say hello. You would have to walk over there.
Right. Definitely not going to do that.
So there's just a casual wave, and what I'll say is that I always say what I'll say. I'll just say the thing I'm going to say. It's such a weird tick I have. But what I'll say is, you note him whisper something to one of the people that he's with, and it's this tall, like severe looking pale elf with like this. Her hair is cut so sharply in a bob that you could cut yourself on it. Like it is a but she is like devastatingly attractive because it's an elf, right? It's just one of those like born with it situations, and they chuckle a little bit, and then he like waves and they walk off. And then as you turn back around, also, you'll see a very young looking student approach you with the sash of a teacher's assistant. And he'd be, are you Ketlin?
Yes. Hi. Yes, that's me.
Yes, hi. I was telling you that I was told to come tell you that if you don't collect your mail, they're going to throw it away because there's too much.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. Where do I get that?
And she'll give you directions, and you can
Okay.
go get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go
So
get
yeah,
my mail.
you'll go to the student mail, and you will see like the cubby where your mail is full of letters, like 100% full of letters.
Oops.
And
Didn't even think of that.
didn't even think to check the mail because who would be sending you letters, right?
Literally has never happened before.
Exactly. So yeah, so you grab them, I imagine, in a little bit of a panic and like rush back to your door.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Elwyn, what's going on in your second sort of week?
Alwyn is still hung up on the evil darkness is following me. Oh shit. Or there's some part of my life which is either tainted by evil darkness or I will become evil darkness. Who knows what's going on there?
Yeah.
So I think Alvin's objective would be to sort of go to the library and start researching like what from whatever background information she has told Alvin,
Okay.
like where does they come from? What level, extent of power do they have, and like stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we mentioned Ragnar's a monk earlier.
Yeah.
It's worth, I suppose, maybe just reminding reminding folks, Ketlin is rogue, correct?
Correct.
Eladrin rogue. Okay. And Elwyn is a sorcerer?
Warlock.
Warlock.
Eladrin Warlock, yeah.
Yeah. Same. I don't tell the warlocks that. And Oris is cleric, as
You can tell
I think we
that
mentioned.
the DM has not really played the caster classes in abundance. Warlock, sorcerer, charisma-based, who cares?
Who gives a shit? They don't study me. Do you know how much effort I put into my wizard? It's not that I don't play casters. It's that I have no respect for your bullshit magic. Okay, study and practice are how you get better at things.
Whatever you say, nerd.
I was born tall. Like,
Or you could just ask a deity, be like, I want magic.
yeah, I hate it so much. Do you know how hard I work to be normal, and I'm not there? Like, no, I'm just kidding. I gave up a while ago. Okay, and Sal is a paladin, as we know. Okay. Yeah. So so you go back to the library, and your favorite attendant is there. Oh, hi.
Hello.
You don't remember my name.
I know.
Okay.
No.
How can I help?
I actually don't know. Yeah, I just want to explore the library myself. Would that be allowed? Owen is confused.
I don't know. The unbridled honesty. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how last time you gave me a book about a temple that isn't even on this plane, so I don't know how you can help anyone, let alone me. Nishan, I love you so much. That was fantastic. I'm dying. Okay. Yeah. So she gestures like, yeah, like I don't care. So yeah, you can walk into the library and peruse. Definitely possible.
Yeah, I
What are you?
mean,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, yeah, Elvin does not even know, if my perspective, Elvin's brain is, like, he's sort of more, like, stuck on just what the words she said rather than having a logical thought about how to go about trying to figure something out. So he'll just sort of start going through the aisles and, like, anything that mentions, like, dark evil or, like, future telling, he'll just start pulling random books and trying to read and jump through them.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, no, that was amazing. Okay. Let's go ahead and have you do an investigation.
I can try to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. That is a 9.
A 9, yeah. So you actually are able to find a section on curses of like inherited curses. So you find this section on inherited curses, and you find something that looks like really promising, and you're reading through it, and a lot of similarities are starting to ring true for you and your situation of isolated group of people, magic from an external source.
Yeah.
People didn't think the source is what they thought it was. But then when you start getting to the end of it, you realize this is a book about a cult that was opposing Tyr, which is that same temple that the book that you got in the previous one was about a temple of Tyr, and now you've accidentally found a book about inherited curses about in that dimensional space. So you found some similarities of, oh, okay, like maybe this is kind of what it is, but it applies to a different dimension.
Another dimension.
Well, can't win.
It gives up.
And then as you're leaving the library, go ahead and give me a luck check, please. And that's just rolling a d20.
Okay, just rolling a d20. I was wondering what What do you mean by luck check?
Yeah, we're just rolling luck. We're seeing how high you can get on a 20. Definitely don't want to get below 5. 5 would be real bad. 10 would be no.
9.
Yeah. Sorry?
Well, I got a nat 1. Terrible luck.
Oh my god!
Oh, evil darkness that lives inside you? It's fine.
So
You're
you're
fine.
leaving the library and you are completely like you got something to think about and now you're kind of questioning like how you grew up and all these lessons you were taught and you're like is there like an ancient evil curse in my family and it wouldn't make any it's like one of those ideas that gets stuck in your head that it wouldn't make any like
No.
real kind of sense but it just
Yeah.
like it's a thought experiment that you kind of get stuck on and
Mhm.
so because you're thinking about all these things you push the doors to the library open a little bit too hard and you hear it hit someone
Oh boy.
and as you like
I see.
look
I know
around
where you're
as you
going.
look around, you see Evelyn on the ground with like fully nose like broken or a bloody nose at least, not like full broken nose, but like it smacked her in the face good because you opened the door too quick because you were distracted. Ah!
So sorry. I'm so sorry. I wasn't looking where I was going. Let me take you to the hospital.
Why?
'Cause
Why?
you've got blood everywhere.
And her friends pick her up and like the weird number 2 party that she's traveling with like takes her off and like you see this paladin with wavy blonde hair and
Mhm.
just like $1 million smile and ice blue eyes, like put his hand out and go, bro, I think you've done enough. And they all leave.
Alvin just like stands there.
And he starts and as he's walking as they're walking away, you see he like takes the weight of one of the shoulders and cast and like lay
Yeah.
on hands and yeah.
Mhm.
He lays on hands is what he does. So Jesus.
Alvin
Why
is
would you roll it now? I was talking. Okay. All right.
You brought this upon yourself by existing.
I mean,
Yeah, the dice give it. It's not giving me a lot reason. They're just taking away.
I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to mend some fences.
Nope.
I'm like, what would a
That
net
one.
one be? I was like, you just made it so much worse.
Right. In Elwyn's defense, doors open. Like if you're not
Hey,
prepared for that,
Yeah.
maybe you should avoid them at all costs.
Yeah.
If you ask me, this is on her.
Thank you, Riz. That makes Alvin feel a tad bit better. For a brief moment.
He's back in the dorm. He's like explaining the latest, and then I hit her in the face with the door. Oh, good stuff. Goodness gracious. Okay, what else we got? Sal.
I think Sal, he's coming up on like the part of the term or the level, whatever those are, where he needs to like commit to a specific oath.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's probably like spending some time studying up on like the different oaths, getting an idea of like what he should commit himself to.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're being very diligent in your classes. You're using the resources, talking to different paladins and clerics and everything. Is Sal religious? Would you describe Sal as religious at all?
No, Sal isn't particularly religious at all.
Okay.
I think he's kind of like he came from his parents were maybe more religious, but he is not really kept with that at all.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I'll let you. What is, I guess, what would Sal need answers to, or are you looking for how well he does in figuring out what types of oaths there are, etc.
I think he's probably like talking with some like TAs or advisors and kind of getting an idea of like what oaths they went with, and just kind of trying to get an idea of the experience of people with different oaths. You know, trying to get an idea of how much they enjoy it, what they.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, you would definitely be able to meet with different people and have them speak about their oaths and their experience. I mean, it ranges everywhere from like the oath of conquest to the oath of the open sea to the oath of vengeance to etc. What I guess, hmm, I don't know. I'm more than happy to let you steer this narrative. What oath is Sal kind of gravitating to, or does he even have that? Do you think?
I think he's like curious by talking to. I think he knows like a TA who's Oath of Redemption.
Okay.
And so he's kind of interested in that because he's kind of turned off by some of like the conquest and vengeance paladins. Seems a little bit too harsh for him. Seem kind of aggressive, but the Oath of Redemption guys seem relatively chill. He's
Okay.
trying to understand what that's about.
Yeah. So you talk to one of the TAs who's sort of like well, no, let's say you talk to one of the student advisors that I think Sal would. One thing that I've noticed that adult students are really good about is like truly utilizing all the resources that a college or a work in class has to offer, is that they truly go like what's available and like try it. They try everything to see what's effective. So I'll say that when you go to one of the TAs, they let you know about like you can volunteer with higher ranking students, and they will basically like it's a shadow or a follow along where you just do what they do for a day. um so you're able to go and meet with one of the Oath of Redemption paladins. You meet with a Fari Hammermall, a 94-year-old male hill dwarf who is Oath of Redemption, and they are doing guard duty for clerics that require. It's a formality, but it's like an honor guard to make sure nobody disturbs them while they are performing a ceremony that they do. So yeah, you guys are out there on your shift, and if you've ever been on guard duty before, as I have, you definitely get to chat and know the other person that you're with because there is nothing else to do. So they're like, I remember when I took me first oath. Well, that's my only oath. I don't know. I don't know. I phrased it that way, but it was so long ago, about 60 years or so. There was a moment when, after the, did you hear about the grassland conflict of the hill dwarfs and the Vitopian theocracy?
I barely know what the theocracy is, buddy.
They're giant piece of shit, is what they are. But neither here nor there. It was after the battle, and I was sitting there holding my friend's head, and I made a decision then and there that we have to have a higher standard of peace and justice. Now, the way I expressed that feeling and that revelation was to kill the next 20 of the enemy I saw with my bare hands, using them as an improvised weapon against each other. Violence is a last resort, but it is a tool. It's just a tool in the tool bag. And if you hold yourself to a standard, then you can go in swinging with a righteous sense of purpose.
So did you like redeem anyone?
Yes, I redeemed him of life.
Oh, in practice, this sounds very different from what the textbook was saying.
Well, it's an evil cult, you know. You gotta clean him out.
Oh, okay. So like, redemption is just another fancier way of killing bad guys.
Look, most of it's I will say that the violence is the reason I put it first is that it is an inherent aspect of the oath. First and foremost, our diplomacy. If we can convene and establish a common set of guidelines that we all could follow, we could enforce those rules. But when you have a cult of Baal, there's nothing to do but punch them until they stop moving.
Okay, that's surprisingly insightful, actually. So like, do you ever get to use the diplomacy part of it, or has it mostly just been the punching until they stop moving?
No, it's mostly the diplomacy part.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool.
But my point always is that people have a sense that they will use their righteous anger to carve, to turn the most far gone of people and cults, and if they throw down arms, we're not going and killing children, but when you there's no choice but to respond to evil for redemption, for personal redemption as well.
And do you feel like the Oath of Redemption has helped you redeem yourself in any way?
Oh, I used to be a right bag of shit.
Oh, from the conflicts you were in, or
just mercenary work is dirty work. I learned early in my life that I was capable of a level of violence that few were able to get their head around. Not that I enjoyed it in any way. It became a sense of something needed to be done, so we do it. The mercenary the Golden Phoenix Mercenary Company, always on the side of right, for better or worse, but I wanted it to be for a purpose and not for a coin.
It's good insight.
Yeah.
How long do these ceremonies last? We've been here for like 2.5 hours.
We're halfway there, lad.
Oh fuck.
No.
Do I have to do these all the time?
Only if you need money. So
okay.
The church takes donations, and then we are compensated for our efforts, but not in a wage kind of way. More to just keep the lights on, so to speak. But in this instance, it's all run through the schools, so we don't have to worry about any of that kind of thing.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. Well, and then
but you do get credit, for your hours that I have to sign if you stay to the end.
Okay, cool. I guess I'll just stand here for 2.5 more hours.
Oh, and so you guys talk about this, that, the other. So he's an older. He's a young dwarf, but like old in perspective, so you guys are kind of able to see eye to eye, right? Nice little moment there. Okay, good and good. What else? What else we got? That's it. Kevin is Ragnar is still on his retreat. These monks, I tell you. Okay, are we ready with the assignments, good sir?
Yeah, I think we're ready to start talking through them. So as everyone's returning to the crib, gather everyone and tell them what Oris has identified as possible adventures for the next assignment, and he's gonna approach it with the group, knowing that we're much lower in the rankings than Oris believes the group is capable of. But he's kind of conflicted internally, and he's very open and honest about it, that the most points available for a lot of these are going to be from combat adventures. And so he's a little bit hesitant, and definitely as he's expressing these is kind of showing a preference for avoiding those, even though he knows that they're probably going to be the best experience just because of his personal desire to avoid conflict. So as he goes through them,
when just one thing real quick, just for everyone, as you hear these, truly, you can pick any of them, and we will go through it. You can also pick multiple, but if you do, you have to do them in order. So
Multiple in order?
of the choosing. So if like we're gonna do this one and this one, you have to do them in
We're
that
doing
order.
them like back to back. You
Right.
mean? Okay.
Yeah.
So like
It's
no
fine.
break between them.
Right.
We could just split the party and do them both at once.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Because that always works out.
I'm saying there are also options that I haven't thought of. So if you guys want to be like, well, can we do X? Like, well, maybe, I don't know. But anyways, just keep that in mind as you hear the
Okay. So Ors gets up. He's like, so we got a couple of the combat missions. There's merrily we knoll along. There's a river barge that's been attacked by some gnolls, and the canyon east of school that needs a little bit of help. How many liches does it take? In the wet forest we were in, there's a temple that they've discovered an ancient evil in it that needs cleansing. And then there's the spectatorship qualifying round, the arena series for the school. We would have to fight a spectator, so can be not. I mean, we could look at some of the other ones here too. So exploration. There's a farmer requesting help finding lost blue cranberries. I will have to get more information on that because, I mean, how do you lose cranberries? I mean, it's very. Won't you please help me? For a festival, so we might be doing a greater good by helping spread joy with lost cranberries. Not blueberries. Blue cranberries, by the way.
Blue cranberries.
Okay.
There's someone in need of transporting alchemical supplies. Fun chemistry, arcanistry stuff. And then there's the one that's labeled here, Little House in the Ferry. Property dispute between a claimed jumper and the Unseelie. So interdimensional real estate law. Does anyone have that as part of their majors? Real estate? I don't know how. No, but
And you said the Unseelie. What's the Unseelie?
Gonna point that over to the DM real quick.
Oh, you would be able to the dark elves, the void elves.
Okay.
And
So for the lore, at the turning of the last epoch, as the void retreated back, and people were able to reclaim formerly shadow-touched lands, they found the old environments were forever changed. So there's a whole unseelie balance.
And so those are some of the exploration ones, but of the fetch and carry, you guys have heard of Gorgon Ramsay, right? The famous chef.
Of course.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, so this one's Tasha's hideous colander is gone missing, and there's an open bounty on it to find it, and it's holding the remains of Gorgon Ramsay. So that one's actually worth a decent amount of points, but it's also a little bit out of the way. But there's pros and cons, but. There's also Drown Out Brown Cow. A guy bought magic beans, and now the cows won't produce milk. So we're gonna we would have to negotiate this or steal it back or figure something. I don't know if I agree with the stealing part, but we might be able to negotiate something. And then actually, our old friend Dirk with a K is on the list. He's looks like something's wrong with Bill, his pup. He's spooked and needs help building confidence. So that one's kind of a more of a side quest, but side adventure. But those are the ones that we've got available to us right now. And overall, the combat ones are the most dangerous, but offer the most points. And apparently, this Colander with Gorgon Ramsay's remains is also worth a lot.
Yeah, I mean the ones I'm interested in, cleansing the temple. I mean, I feel like that would just look good on my grade to cleanse out a temple for paladin stuff. and I know we were still interested in that temple and like the stuff that we found in the wet forest. That and the alchemical supplies, protection. I know that those are big targets for bandits, so that could be good. But also, I feel bad that Bill's not doing too well.
Yeah, I mean that seems like a relatively simple one for us to do because we already have a relationship with Bill. So like we could just go like perk him up, maybe.
I mean, I'm wondering. We'd have to find out, but he might be in the wet forest anyway, so maybe we would be able to do 2 of them.
Yeah. Also, I don't have any problem stealing things, so if you want to like look the other way, I can steal the whatever the red.
You're gonna get me in trouble.
Things was.
The beans?
Yeah.
Steal back the caveat emptor. A drow bought a cow for some magic beans. Claims the cow won't produce milk, and the owner knew it. Steal it back. 10 points if undetected.
Never had to deal with cows before, but I can try and steal one.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone else have thoughts on which ones to take on?
How many? Like, does it list how many points are worth? Or like, because you said one was worth 10 points.
Yeah. So they all range between 5 and 20 points.
Okay.
The ones we've talked about so far, the Lich is worth 15, and helping Dirk out would be worth 5. Whereas, fighting the gnolls is 20. Finding the Coriander is 20. But the rest, all the other ones that are exploration, fetch, and carry are worth 10 or less, and all the ones in combat are 15 or more.
So what was the name of the Ramsey one again?
Tasha's Hideous Colander?
What was it?
Tasha's Hideous Colander?
Tasha's Hideous Colander. Right. I feel like that's named after something.
It's a different plane. Different dimension.
Yeah.
Same one with the tier temple.
What was the one with the Unseelie?
That was the Little House the Fairy. That one varies for the amount of points because it's interdimensional, I guess. I don't.
Well, I am interested in dealing with elves. I don't. Curious. There's a. I don't really know where I come from, and elves sounds neat to me.
Okay. How many points was the temple one worth?
The temple was 15.
That was 15? Okay.
And all of these are for like this week,
forest.
And they go away after this week, or is this more of a like these might be here next week too?
It depends. If we don't take them, another group might.
No, sure.
So it really depends on at most of the higher point. So we often run into a point mid-semester where there's no high point ones left because those all get grabbed, and then board just is filled up with the lower points unless something comes up.
Yeah, that's actually exactly right. That's what prompted the rule of if you're taking multiple lower point quests, you have to do them in order. Like, so you have like you can pick the order, but you have to do them like back to back, because you're taking it away from somebody else doing it, and if you take a while or you just then you're depriving another student of that opportunity.
Do we need in the year overall?
Sorry?
How many points do we need total in the year?
You would need 100 points total.
100 points.
Okay.
That is to pass.
Right.
So there are definitely advantages to having more, but
and all points aren't guaranteed.
Right. Like if there's a 20-point quest to rid a village of bandits, that is a village that's under siege, in the sense that you have to lay siege to a village because bandits are occupying it or something to that effect, and you just level the whole place, and you're like, collateral damage all over the place. It's a crater now, but the bandits are gone. No points.
That actually happened 2 semesters ago. The group tried to kind of work their way around the point system.
Yeah. They got expelled.
Well, I mean, I think
literally and figuratively.
the burning down of an entire village was sort of the final straw. Like, well, the bandits are gone. Well,
they were on probation anyway, so they were not good people. Anyway.
Okay. Then I think it could be good to try and get 2 quests in, even if it's just like a low point 1 and a higher point 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got a good chance with the Bill one. Do we know from like the description of the Bill quest if that's like nearby or possibly near one of the other quests?
Well, so you guys were able to get him what he needed in the wet forest, and you didn't cause any sort of ruckus, so he didn't have to leave. So you would know that his quest is in the wet forest, but you also know that it's Dirk with a K. So the simple request of motivate my crocodile might not be as so cut and dry, and then you get 5 points for whatever bullshit, So it's a risk, but maybe there's a different kind of reward for that kind of quest. Who knows? I mean, I do, but figuratively.
Then yeah, I think it's worth doing a higher point quest.
Yeah, I agree.
So that means I don't think we're ready for like a high level combat quest. We got pretty messed up by those spiders, and that was with Dirk and Bill helping us out.
Yeah.
So I think fighting the gnolls, fighting the spectator might be a bit out of reach for right now. But cleansing the temple,
You're
know
muted,
stuff
Steven.
But like cleansing the temple.
Sorry, I was drinking. I didn't want it on the microphone because my microphone's a lot closer. Because I was just fully above the table of like these assignments are available to everybody, and like end of year kind of assignments as well. So like a spectator where it's like, hey, fight a spectator. It's like very clear what's about to happen, and like looking at the spectator stats, like that's challenge ranking 3, and like how many licks does it take of like cleanse the temple is like, yeah, that's great, but if there's a lich there, that's gonna be
that'd be bad.
What are they? I didn't even actually pull it.
I mean, it really depends on the lich.
I feel like CR9.
There's a really incompetent lich. I don't know how to do nothing. These zombies just keep dying on me. Yeah, they're already dead. Oh, they came that way?
Yeah. I thought the liches were for another. It was referencing a different quest. Okay, yeah, maybe let's not fight a lich right now.
But I'm just saying, like, there's no statement like there is a lich there, but like,
an ancient evil.
Challenge 21.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's your
liches are no joke. That they will murder us.
Okay, well, but
above the table.
So that's a bad example because I will fully disclose I am not putting a CR 21 on your first year assignments. That's not my meaning. That there might be like a CR 5 or 6 in there is what I meant. So that was bad.
There's also such thing as false lich.
Yes. I was more focused on the pun at the time.
Right.
Because it was making me giggle. Okay. Anyway, that dog don't hunt. Dirk with a K. But then there's also the facet of if a different. Well, I don't know. I'm picturing the adventuring party that goes, oh, someone needs help with their dog. I'm good with dogs. And they get there and it's a crocodile. I'm just imagining that. Anyway.
Yeah, at least for that one, we know what craziness we're getting into. Okay, what are y'all thinking? What should we do?
I'm down to do a higher point one, so like the something on a prairie, or the I'm still interested in like the defending the alchemical supplies, just because I know those might be a hot target.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the Orez is happy to help guide the decision, but can't make the ultimate choice, make the choice for everyone. But does want to share kind of the thought process between some of it, that going for good high points is good, but it also does make some sense at this point to split it between two, because then you might be able to succeed one, and if you can't finish the entirety of another or something, then you could still possibly walk away with a decent amount of points, versus if we went into a battle with the Knolls or something and the river barge got destroyed, well, that's nothing but a full-on loss there. But there's also the time it would take. So the Regents is apparently going to be a 2-day journey, which means then we'd have to travel back as well, and might be the only one that we can possibly do in a school week, depending on if we got approval.
Okay. Well, it seems like we need to just kind of make a decision. So, do we want to go rescue some alchemical supplies and then see how Dirk and Bill are doing? What was his name? Alligator?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Old Billy.
Try that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alchemical active. Oh, you're doing the transportation of the alchemical supplies?
Can you read the description of that one again one more time?
So, Arcanistry active regions in 2-day journey equals potential combustion. Adventurers needed to transport alchemical supplies. 10 points.
Okay, so looking into it, you'd be able to know that you have to carry something which, cannot be jostled or stolen, and if it is either, it will blow up.
Well, if it can't be stolen, why even bother?
You don't want to let it be stolen, I mean. Now, you could report it stolen and keep it. That's something an evil person would do. No, I don't know. But
that one's only 10 points.
Then that's 10 points, yeah. And then for the Little House on the Ferry, there's property dispute. So you're looking into that. Oh, yeah. Do you guys want any more like meta details about the sort of thing that you would know as just part of you being at the school that might not necessarily be in the description?
Sure.
Yeah. What information are you guys looking for about any of them, or how assignments work, period?
What does it look like to do an interdimensional quest? And like, how easy is it to travel between planes if we have to do that?
So if there's a post for it, then the school is providing the means to get there.
Okay.
So it just helps their reputation, right? That means they'll tell you report to this room, there's a portal, whatever. You're there, like break this to come back. Don't lose it. Because don't. Like, I don't know if I have to explain to you why you shouldn't lose this, then maybe you shouldn't go to school here. So yeah, so there's that kind of thing, or it's close enough by that they will get you there, but I'm not gonna like deduct it from your gold to pay for travel. You can, but if you want anything other than rations, so you would basically go to the quartermaster, say you'd show him your assignment that you took, active regions, 2-day journey. They would give you supplies for 4 days, etc. And then you can check out equipment if you need, like, I want a bigger sword or whatever. There's ways to like trade in your points for equipment. So like you see, like, oh, if you did 5 combat quests, you're done, like, for the entire year. Like, that's but people end up spending their points to get better gear from the school. But you can also get gold while you're out and buy things in town. So either path is an option. But the school just has, you have access to like a whole lot of stuff that you would not be able to get in town, etc. So
Okay. Well, if we want to try and do 2, because we know how long it'll take to do the alchemical one, maybe the prairie one is better. We try and hope that we can get that done faster than 4 days. And if we have time, then we could go help Bill.
That makes sense. Okay. How many points was the prairie one?
It varies depending.
What actually would be a good moment, where I know we started a little bit late, but we are at the time where we would normally take a break.
Mm-hmm.
So we can ruminate on what sorts of things we want for the party. You guys can hit up the thread that I definitely don't think you definitely don't have a thread without me in it, right? About what you guys are thinking, and I will walk this dog that is getting antsy. What do we say?
That dog don't hunt.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. All right, gents, let's go ahead and do it. I'm probably going to need a 20 for the doggo, so.
Okay.
All right. 20 minutes.
Sounds good.
Y'all real soon.
Run at 3:37.
Sounds good.